Welcome back to Prep Rally, our summer edition. This is our weekly sports show dedicated to prep sports in Northwest Arkansas, and I'm your host, Chip Sousa, the sports editor of the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. The Arkansas High School Coaches Association All-Star Games were held last week at the University of Central Arkansas in Conway. Each year, All-Star Games, they feature the best, players in the state. They're playing their final prep games as, before they head off to college. Some to continue their athletic career, some to just be Joe College students. That's okay both ways. We wish them good luck, whichever path they choose to go on. The week got started on Tuesday night, had All-Star baseball and softball games, and then it wrapped up on Friday night with the big All-Star football game. In between, a volleyball match, a couple of basketball games, the girls and boys all-star basketball games, girls and boys soccer matches. So just a big week for these athletes, just a week that they will never forget, being a part of this the All-Star festivities and everything that goes along with that. So we'll start the show today with a recap of Friday night's football game played on the Stripes at Estes Stadium at UCA. For those who are not familiar with that stadium, the turf there is a distinctive purple and gray. It's the only one of its kind, hopefully, that I know of. But anyway, it's purple and gray. But on Friday night, it had a lot of black and blue on it as the East pounded the West 55-14 in that All-Star football game. Warren quarterback Hayden Laster, he had a big game for the East. He completed 9 out of 15 passes for 117 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win. And Monte Thomas, who was named the game's most valuable player, he caught 4 passes for 95 yards and 3 touchdowns. Fayetteville coach Billy Dawson, he's just hired recently, and he was the head coach of the West football team after he had led Russellville to the Class 6A state championship game in December. And we spoke with Coach Dawson also after the game Friday night.
Well, things went sour for you from the opening kickoff on. What happened tonight?
Yeah, it just snowballed on us. They got some great athletes, though, and too hard to tackle in space. They did a really good job. Our kids played hard. We turned the ball over a couple times, had some chances to score early, to get back in it, didn't do it.
How much, 21-0, and you've only ran 3 offensive plays.
Yeah.
How much did that affect what you were trying to do out there?
Well, sure, it puts you in, sort of a panic mode. Obviously, the deal, we were inside the 15, didn't score, we missed the field goal, and in this game, you get the ball back. So, you make it, take it. So we didn't have the opportunity, we couldn't score. And when the field condensed, we struggled.
On Thursday night, basketball took center stage. The girls' game, All-Star game, was played first, followed by the boys' games. In the girls' game, the East, they won the 6th straight All-Star game for the East squad. They beat the West 68-58. Carissa Capel, she had 17 points for the East and was named the MVP. Some local players, Mayberry of Fayetteville, she was named the West team's most outstanding player, and also a teammate of hers from Fayetteville, Lauren Holmes, she had 10 points in the game. Vic Rimmer, the coach at Fayetteville who led the Lady Purple Bulldogs, to a Class 7A state championship in March, he was a coach for the West team, and Henry Apple interviewed Coach Rimmer after the game.
Yeah, I think the East group didn't play real well the first half. I thought their guard play was kind of stale. And I thought they really, the second half, they really got going. There's some combinations that Harlan put together in the second half that we couldn't guard, and they got to the rim. They were a lot more aggressive than we are in the glass. I don't know what the final rebounding total was, but if it wasn't in their favor, I think they got maybe some bigger rebounds than we got. And I thought we missed some buckets there in the third quarter, fourth quarter. We only scored 5 points in one of those quarters. I thought we missed some easy ones.
For the boys, it was the West finally broke a long losing streak in these All-Star games to the East with a 110-98 win. That was like an old ABA type game for those of you who may go back as far as I do. But anyway, a lot of scoring in that game, 110-98 for the West. 6 players in that game for the West scored 10 or more points, including Jordan Hempel of Bentonville High. He had 14 points in the win, and Henry Apple interviewed Jordan after the game.
Talk about the experience.
It was a good week. We competed all week, and we came out with a message, and we wanted to send it. We wanted to beat the East since we haven't won, I think, 7 in a row, maybe 8. And so we had to break the streak, and it was good. It was fun playing with these guys. They're all really talented.
So one of the big highlights of the game was toward the end of the second quarter, Brandon Finner of Charleston. He's the one who made about 46,000 three-pointers during his high school career. It seemed like he did. Anyway, he did hit 4 three-pointers in the game, and one of them was a buzzer beater that we got on video right here. So in volleyball action earlier in the week, the West got down 2-0 in their match to the East. It looked like the East was going to get the win, but the West rallied to win 3 straight games to win the match 3-2. And Harbor teammates Emily Doss and Claire Traynor had big roles in that comeback. Traynor was named the MVP, and Doss was named the most outstanding player for the West, but they rallied from 2 games down to win that one to get that 3-2 win in the match. In girls soccer, Caroline Campbell, she led the East to a 3-1 win over the West. She had a hand in all 3 goals for the East. And on the boys' side, it was the West with the 3-2 win as Eric Godron of Hot Springs scored the game winner with 11 minutes to go. In baseball, now this doesn't happen very often, but apparently baseball applied the same rules that maybe the MLB did a couple of years ago. They let the first game end in a 10-10 tie. You know, there's no tying in baseball. You know that, right? But anyway, they ended the first game in a 10-10 tie, but the East won the second game 9-6. So I guess the East won the 2 games or whatever, 1-0-1 or however they want to score. Anyway, the East did win the second game 9-6. Greenbrier's Paxton Wallace was named the MVP in that 2 games. And in softball, it was the East also on the win. They swept both games. They won the first game 6-2, won the second game 5-3, and as Caitlin Gordon of BB was named the MVP. So congratulations to all those players and coaches and cheerleaders and dance team members and everyone associated with the All-Star Games last week in Conway. Again, that is a big, big honor for those players and coaches. And again, we wish them good luck as they move on to the next part of their careers. Next week, we will resume previewing prep football teams as we check in on the Siloam Springs Panthers. For all of us at the NWADG, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Prep Rally.